Welcome to Next Act Cruising. If you've been following our travel adventures on Next Act Retirement and Travel, you might notice something new. This will be our dedicated cruise channel. We will be updating and migrating all of our Panama Canal cruise playlists to this new channel. And we'll add new cruise content as we keep on cruising.
Hey, Sarah, what are we doing on this old Viking boat? Am I going to have to row it? I thought we were going on a luxurious Viking ocean cruise.
Don't worry, Bob. This is just inspiration for preparing to go on our real luxury Viking ocean cruise.
Okay, Sarah, I believe you. For you folks out there, this video is an updated version of our original video we did preparing for our Viking Panama Ocean cruise. So let's pull up the anchor and get started with the video.
On the Viking cruises, they include one included excursion for every port you stop in. So about 2.5 months before our cruise leaves, we are able to sign up for those excursions and they become available. So we went through them and we picked which ones we wanted to do. Let me tell you a little bit more about that. As I said, one included excursion, or at least one included with every port, and then there's some other fee-based ones to choose on. The fee-based ones range from about $80 to $160 per person, but I think I mostly saw between $140 and $160 per person for those excursions. We ended up picking all of the included ones because they looked great. We haven't been to any of these countries before, and so we thought those included excursions would give us a good sampling of the country and tell us something about it. Aside from that thought, I was kind of worried about picking excursions that might be too strenuous for me. That sounds kind of soft, but I've been fighting a foot problem for a year, and so I didn't want to do an excursion that took too much walking or standing, so I was mindful of that while I was picking those excursions. At any rate, I thought a half day of walking and standing around on a tour and learning things would be great, but then it would be nice to go back to the ship, cool off, and enjoy ourselves.
With our room reservation, we have 2 specialty dining opportunities that we can reserve in advance. We've made one at Manfredi's, the Italian restaurant, and also the Chef's Table. Certainly there are also other open option dining opportunities available on the ship where you don't need a reservation. We are absolutely really looking forward to our nights of special dining.
We'll share that we did not select the Silver Spirits package to go with our cruise. Our personal drinking habits just did not justify the package. And with Viking, beer and wine is served with lunch and dinner. And when we were on our Rhine River cruise, those beer and wine selections were very good. I'm sure we'll order a few drinks from the bar. And in fact, when we were on the river cruise, we enjoyed having the aquavit to drink because that's something we can't get locally. All of that aside, if you're not really a wine or beer drinker and you like to drink something else, certainly the Silver Spirits package might be something that would be advantageous to you.
We took addressing any health concerns we had before the cruise very seriously. We studied the CDC information and also contacted our healthcare providers and pharmacists. We both got ourselves updated on all of our routine vaccinations. It's good that we got started early in the process because Sarah actually needed more of the vaccines than I did.
By starting early, I was able to spread those shots out over an extended period of time instead of having to have a bunch of shots all at once.
We each got a typhoid shot, and Sarah ended up getting a yellow fever shot as well. Fortunately, I didn't need to get a yellow fever vaccine. I had that shot 35 years ago, and it's good for your lifetime.
We're pleased to report that we did real well with the shots and didn't have any difficulties with any of them.
If you're going to an area that has yellow fever, we would recommend that you work on getting your vaccine as soon as possible. You actually have to go to a clinic that specializes in giving the yellow fever shots so they can do a certificate verifying that you've actually had the vaccine. And you will need to find either a clinic or a pharmacy that specializes in the shot. Further, if you're over 60 years of age, as both Sarah and I are, and you need to get the yellow fever vaccine, your medical provider will need to certify that your health is such that it will allow you to get the vaccine.
We will also protect ourselves against mosquitoes. We've purchased some mosquito repellent wipes that we can, carry on the plane and then easily transport and use as mosquito repellent. We also have some preventive medication that we've got through our doctors for malaria prevention. We also wanted to make sure we were prepared to face any seasickness that might occur. So we got a prescription from our doctors for some seasickness medication. We hope we don't have to use it.
Knock on wood, let's hope not.
But if we do get seasick, I think we'll be glad we had it along with us. We're also going to have some ginger chews to use, which are supposed to be good for fighting nausea or queasiness. Lastly, we're going to make sure that we have enough of our regular prescriptions filled so that we'll have medication for the entire trip.
A good thing about this cruise is that because we're both U.S. citizens, we did not need any visas for the ports that we stop in on the trip.
Now, with all those preparations under our belt, let's talk about what our hopes or expectations are for this cruise. Well, we want to talk about those up front because we are kind of interested to see whether our expectations come true as the cruise goes on. And also we're going to talk about what our fears are, and we're going to find out whether those fears were justified or just senseless worrying.
Sarah will talk about the fears primarily, but let's first start with our hopes and expectations for the cruise. 1, great service from Viking. We loved our romantic Rhine River cruise. The staff was friendly and so very helpful. We really expect the same on this cruise. And we know that whatever our needs may be on the cruise, they will do everything within their ability to meet those.
2, great food. We live in an area that's pretty rural, so we don't have a lot of restaurants to go to. So we're really looking forward to having a good variety of great food and without any cooking or cleanup afterwards.
We both like that, don't we?
Yes.
Number 3, just relaxing and enjoying the experience. This will be our first time on an ocean cruise, and we're very excited about it, and we anticipate the cruise will be very exciting. This cruise is scheduled for 15 days, so Sarah, that should be plenty of time to get us into the vacation mode.
That's right, and then we'll have to get out of the vacation mode when we come back to work.
or you'll come back to work.
That's right.
Yes.
For we look forward to visiting 5 new countries and getting a taste for their cultures. I know our stops are going to be short there, but they should be a good brief introduction as to what that country is about. Viking offers quite a bit of onboard educational experiences, and we really love that about them, and so we look forward to those learning opportunities. And it'll be especially interesting to see the Panama Canal in action. My parents went there about 50 years ago, and it will be interesting to compare notes with them on what that experience was like.
5, we hope to capture some good videos and great content to share with you on our YouTube channel.
It will be fun getting that put together and put onto YouTube to share with you. We really look forward to that. Okay, now for the other side of that. We're going to talk about fears. Bob maybe really didn't want to talk about the fears, but I was firm on the idea that we needed to do that because I think a lot of people avoid traveling because they're fearful about something. We needed to talk about that. And as we get older, maybe we even get more fears than we used to in our fearless youth, right? And so we're going to look at these fears. Mostly I came up with them, so I guess they're my fears more than Bob's. We're going to talk about them and how we plan to deal with anything that might come up because of that.
And some of those really do apply to me too. I just didn't want to talk about it.
Okay, the first one was the heat and humidity. When Bob said he wanted to do this cruise, right away I was all for it. But then I looked at some of the climate information for the places we were going, and it said it was going to be pretty much like a high of 90 degrees every day. And I thought, ooh, that's going to be hot. To ease my fears, I looked at the itinerary and I realized we'd really only be out doing tours about 5 days of our cruise. So my fear of hiking through the tropical jungle, drenched in sweat, thighs chafing together, probably wasn't all that realistic. And that probably I could deal with those excursions and would survive them. So we're going to see how that goes. Also, as I kind of maybe mentioned before, I picked excursions that I thought I could handle.
Number 2, seasickness. Although I'm not necessarily prone to motion sickness, there has been a time or two where Sarah has gotten a touch of motion sickness. Seasickness is definitely something that could happen. There is absolutely no predicting it, but we can prepare for the worst. We do have our seasickness medication just in case it happens, and our ginger chews. We're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
3, strenuous walking. Okay, it might sound like a broken record, but we're kind of back to the whole foot problem. And what can I say? Getting old is tough. That being said, I'm prepared for this. A few years ago, I got this hiking stick from REI, and it's telescoping, so you can pack it with it short and you can adjust it to what you need. You know, we were traveling in New Mexico when walking on some rugged ground with rocks and climbing over them.
Very uneven surfaces.
And I thought, oh, if my knee or ankle does something hinky, I'm going down on the rocks with my face. And so when we were in Santa Fe, we walked past an REI store and I said, Bob, let's go in and look for a hiking stick. I got the hiking stick then, and I've used it on a number of trips because it does help with the walking and standing to just have a little bit of extra support, especially when you get tired or a knee or ankle really starts to hurt you. So I'm going to have my walking stick. I'm going to bring shoes and sandals that are comfortable on my feet for standing and walking, and any pain medication I need to handle what comes.
Number 4, anxiety and stress. Let's face it, travel can be very stressful. There are a lot of timing and scheduling issues. You're often in crowded places with lots of people. There are all sorts of unknown things that could happen. The actual days that you're traveling can be very long and tiring. Sarah gave you strategies for each of her prior fears and how she intends to manage them on this trip. You can do the same thing with travel stress. Just plan ahead. Get to the places in advance. We live more than 100 miles from the airport, and it's now our established practice that we go the day before we have the trip. We drive down to the airport, get a hotel, spend the night. That way we're eliminating the stress of, oh, is something going to happen on the drive to the airport? Are you going to miss the plane? Things like that. It just makes it easier and less stressful. Get an upgraded seat so you have more comfort and room on the plane. Have a spouse or a traveling partner who can support you, and when you're stressing out on the trip, they're there to help comfort you and calm you down. Whatever your stressors are, think of strategies of how you can deal with them. Do the best you can, and realize at the same time that unexpected things will happen when you travel.
That's right, and if you can prepare ahead of time for those, it can really help. Now we're down to number 5, and honestly this is a really difficult one to talk about. Gaining weight. How often have you gone on vacation and you come back and haven't gained 5 pounds? It's an awful feeling. You may have worked really hard to lose 5 pounds only to gain it back when you're on the trip. Okay, there's not a whole lot you can do about that, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to keep my food tracker going and remember to log in the food. I know we'll have a decent amount of activity on a lot of days, but I'm going to monitor that activity too and make sure that we're getting steps or exercise minutes in. And I don't want to deny myself eating some really interesting food, but we can watch our portions and try to make good decisions as we go along.
And the cruise ship does have, it looks like, at least from the photos, a really good exercise room with a lot of equipment that if you're not getting enough calories burned on the excursions, maybe you go down there for 30 or 45 minutes and just walk on the treadmill.
We'll just have to see how I do on this one. Bob's lucky he doesn't have to worry about that, just me. And so that's a real fear that I'll take some big steps backwards in my weight loss goals.
I'm confident though, Sarah's going to do just fine.
Okay, thank you, Bob. I'm not sure if I'll report how this one went, but we'll just leave it out there and we'll see what happens.
Okay, friends, we've packed a lot into this video. Let us know in the comments how you feel about some of these pre-trip issues. Do you have the same fears, expectations, hopes that we have? We'd like to hear. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this cruise video, please give us a like and subscribe, and click on notifications so you don't miss our next cruising adventure.
If you're looking for more than cruising, like general travel or land-based sightseeing, you can still find that on our original channel called Next Act Retirement and Travel. You will find the link to that original channel in the description below.
Whether at land or at sea, we'd love to have you along on the journey. So, until next time, we say goodbye.